update on top accolade news. The headlines. Former Philippine president arrested on Icc warrant. Democratic Party wins Greenland's parliamentary election. UK pushes for US trade deal as new steel and aluminium tariffs spark global retaliation. Ukraine accepts US proposal for 30-day ceasefire. In politics, former Philippine president arrested on Icc warrant. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has been arrested on an International Criminal Court warrant charged with crimes against humanity related to his brutal anti-drug campaign, which led to the death of thousands. Duterte was forcibly taken from Manila to The Hague on a chartered flight, despite protests from his family, including his daughter Sarah Duterte, who decried the arrest as persecution. The ICC's investigation into his bloody wars on drugs, which saw extrajudicial killings of alleged drug dealers, culminated in his arrest. Supporters of Duterte have fiercely defended his actions, but for many, the arrest represents a long-awaited step towards justice for the victims of his crackdown. Duterte has previously withdrawn the Philippines from the ICC, but the court retains jurisdiction over crimes committed during his presidency. Still in politics, Democratic Party wins Greenland's parliamentary election. In Greenland, the pro-business Democratic Party has won the parliamentary election, defeating the ruling left-wing coalition. Democratic Party, which favors a gradual path to independence from Denmark, secured nearly 30% of the vote, marking a significant rise from previous elections. This election comes amid heightened tension as US President Donald Trump has pushed for Greenland to become part of the United States. While Greenlanders are divided on the issue of independence, many are concerned about the economic and cultural impact of such a shift. Democratic leader Jens Frederik Nielsen will now seek to form a coalition government as the future of Greenland's autonomy remains uncertain. Shifting focus to economy, UK pushes for US trade deal as steel and aluminium tariff spark global retaliation. The UK is seeking a new trade deal with the US as President Donald Trump's tariff on steel and aluminium imports take effect, triggering immediate response from global partners. While the European Union has announced counter-tariff on $26 billion of US goods, the UK has opted to not retaliate, focusing instead on securing a wider economic agreement with the US. The new tariff, designed to boost US steel and aluminium production, have raised concerns about price hike for consumers and potential economic slowdown. Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds emphasized the UK's pragmatic approach, while the EU warned of disruption to supply chains and economic uncertainty. With fears of a recession looming, global markets have reacted negatively and experts have downgraded US growth projections for the year. Shifting focus to conflict, Ukraine accepts US proposal for 30-day ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire proposal put forward by the US during talks in Saudi Arabia. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized that the next move is now in Russia's hands, as Moscow has yet to comment on the offer. Ukrainian President Zelensky called the proposal a positive step, but stressed that it is now up to the US to convince Russia to accept. The ceasefire offer goes beyond previous proposals and includes halting missiles and drone strikes. While the Kremlin has not responded publicly, it has indicated that it will review the offer. Meanwhile, the US has lifted its suspension of military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine, signaling a renewed commitment to diplomatic efforts to end the conflict. You are watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Still in conflict, Pakistan security forces clash with separatists in train hijacking incident. In southwestern Pakistan, a tense rescue operation is underway as security forces exchange gunfire with separatist militants who hijacked a train carrying 450 passengers. At least 27 militants have been killed and over 150 hostages freed, including women and children. The Ballot Liberation Army has claimed responsibility for the attack, demanding a prisoner swap. Authorities are cautious as the militants have surrounded the hostages with explosives. The incident, which took place in the Bolan district, has raised serious concerns about the security situation in the region. In crime, Russian captain arrested after fatal collision between cargo ship and US tanker in the North Sea. Off the coast of East Yorkshire, a Portuguese flag cargo ship crashed into the US tanker, which was carrying 35 million liters of aviation fuel for the US Navy. The captain, a 59-year-old Russian national, has been arrested on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter after the crash, which ignited both vessels and triggered a large-scale rescue operation. While investigations are still ongoing by the US, British and Portuguese authorities, the British government has confirmed no foul play was involved, though no sailor is found dead. Senior officials have stated that the extensive inquiries are underway to determine the cause of the incident. Moving to entertainment, claims against Nicolas Cage dismissed in civil lawsuit. Claims against actor Nicolas Cage have been dismissed from a civil lawsuit filed by his ex-girlfriend Christina Fulton, who accused her son, Weston Cage, of assaulting her. The lawsuit, initially filed last month, alleged that Cage was negligent in preventing the alleged behavior of his son. However, the actor's lawyers called the claims frivolous and stressed that Cage is not responsible for Weston's action. Despite the dismissal, Fulton's lawsuit against Weston Cage is ongoing, with her alleging a violent attack that left her with multiple injuries. Now in sports, trial for Diego Maradona's death begins. The trial for the death of Argentine soccer legend Diego Maradona has officially begun over 4 years after his passing. The case seeks to determine whether 7 medical professionals, including Maradona's personal doctor and psychiatrists, are responsible for his death due to alleged malpractice. Maradona died on November 25, 2020, after suffering cardiac arrest following surgery from a subdural hematoma. Fans gathered outside the courthouse chanting his name and calling for justice as the trial is expected to last for months. The defendant faces charges of homicides and eventual intent, which could lead to prison sentences of up to 25 years. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and development. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorume Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.